What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Tripp. I'm here in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Welcome to the Alaria Masterclass podcast. We're Alabama's only real estate podcast. A lot of times we like to dig in deep with Alabama real estate specifically, and then about half the time we like to get on national guests that are doing just crazy awesome things throughout the country that can provide some kind of national perspective and maybe see even where Birmingham fits in kind of in that national stage. Today we have via Skype Mr. Ramon Gonzalez. Everyone calls you Ray. Is that what I call you? What do I call you?
Yeah, you can call me Ray. Ray's good, man.
Ray, how's it going, man? You're down in Miami, Florida. Tell everybody, I don't know a ton about you. I want to get to know you just as our audience gets to know you. Tell everybody who you are, what you're doing in real estate, how long you've been doing it, and such like that.
Sure. Name is Ramon Gonzalez, Miami, Florida. Proud husband, dad, and on the real estate game, we started this in '05. Did a lot of buy and hold, did some wholesale, did some fix and flip, then started buying and holding again through the market cycle. So I'm a big guy of investing with the cycle just because our market's been very volatile. I've got an economics background. My first job was corporate at General Electric with Alex Pardo. And then I started investing in real estate. Goal was always to become wealthy through real estate and really have the lifestyle. So we are in a place there now where that has come to fruition, and we're still looking to grow that piece. And then the last piece has really been the spiritual side, right? The growth and contributions piece. Because money will only make you, to a certain extent, there's a diminishing return to the more money you make, right? So What I've been big on lately is how to help others make money. I was on a call now on a coaching call, or I'm kind of serving as a visionary for a few companies, and I'm helping them grow young, hungry guys where kind of like, started where I started, and I can help them not bang their head against the wall. And the piece that's been the biggest piece of the contribution piece really lately has been these masterminds that I'm putting on. We got one coming up in May. And I get 15 to 20 guys and ladies in the room. I'm really excited. I've got some beast ladies, and I'm really proud of myself. The biggest thing I can do is help other people win through my tools. And lately that's been, like, one of our employees became a multimillionaire, and she started making 30 grand with us. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying everyone did it. That was not rare. It's just she wanted it, right? That's the only part that we can't help, is I can't help someone want it. But if they have it already and they're sharp and they get it and they want it and they're hungry and they're willing to be coachable, I can help them get there so much faster because, they're not going to hit all the roadblocks, and I call it brain damage, all the brain damage I had to go through. And part of it was my belief, like it needed to be hard, right? So working on that piece lately on the spiritual side and kind of like the deserving piece and really through these masterminds has been where a lot of the fulfillments come in. Brian, I'm sure you've kind of come up with this. You make a bunch of money in a deal, I do, but I'm really happy with that douchebag to my wife. You know what I mean? Like we're holistic beings. So that's been my key thing lately is kind of like Russ Westbrook, right? Like getting a triple double in life, not just points, not just rebounds, assists. So I want all of it, guys. I want to be a great dad. I want to be in great shape, and I want to make a ton of money, and I want to make a lot of impact. But the impact always comes first before the money, right? The impact and the adding value always comes first. And sometimes, I don't know if it happens to you, Brian, but it happens to me at times. I lose sight of that, brother. And sometimes, I've got a loving wife and a mastermind group that really says, yo, Ray, get back on track. You're not doing this for the money. Whenever I follow money outside of my initial grind, hustle, come up, it hasn't worked out well for me. So when I follow impact, I follow my heart, I follow my soul, I follow God, I follow grace, then all sorts of money shows up. Money, I didn't know what to do with shows up, right? So, I don't know, that's something you want to talk about, but that's just the ABCs of me, man.
So, Ray, you obviously we could go in any direction, I feel like. You're a versatile guy. We could literally go in any direction whatsoever. I'm trying to I would like to go in a direction that really we haven't spoken a lot about on this podcast, 73 episodes in, and we haven't. Right. So we've had the Life and Air people on, and Alex Pardo has been on the show to talk about the life, that kind of stuff. Sean McCloskey's been on, even Chuck Bauman, some Life and Air coaches and stuff like that. We've done that, but really, that last thing that really you just said kind of resonates with me personally, and I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that resonates with them as well. When you start talking about like impact, and you start talking about that, like money is I think we all get in this because of the money in the beginning. Like we want to quit our jobs. Like we want freedom, But what I've seen, Ray, you tell me, kind of give me your perspective on this. What I've seen is people that say that they want freedom, what they actually end up doing is what I've done, to be honest with you, is we've created these just big companies, these big businesses that are sucking up all our time. We're making good money, but they're sucking up all our time and energy, and it's not really why we got into this in the beginning. Are you here?
I shut down a multi-million-dollar company for that reason. I said, this isn't what I want to be doing, kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk type story. I was 99% happy, making a ton of money in the real estate fix and flip business. I said, what am I doing? Yeah. My daughter was just born. I said, this is. So we changed gears and started doing some lending, started doing some consulting. And are we making as much money? Probably not. We're keeping just as much, I think, by the time everything's said and done. At the same time, I'm a lot more happier. Dude, I just got back. The reason I had to push you back is last night, for the first time in a long time, I said, honey, we're going to go to the beach and we're going to stay at the beach. Some animal till the last minute. I gave my daughter to my grandmother. We hung out at the beach. This morning, we took like 2-3 mile walk on the beach and just came back here. And I'm here to do this podcast with you. So really incorporating those pieces in, because what's going to make you happy, guys, is the impact you leave here and who you help and long term. After you figured out that money piece, guys, if the money is the motive, the money will be the motive to get you out of the hole. But what got you out of Egypt won't get you to the promised land. That's something I tell myself often.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, because a lot of guys, and the weird thing is, guys, for a guy like you and me, Bri, that'll work, bro. That'll get us at the hole. But it won't. It's a hole that will never be filled because it's a hole that we're looking to fill from the outside in, brother. Yeah. And I'm teaching you as much as I need to learn this, and I'm still doing this at times. Yeah. That hole that we're looking to be, hey, I've got to be this, the ego, hey, I've got to do this, or I've got to do that to feel worthy. And the truth is, if you look between all that shit, it's really some issue of like, we don't feel worthy of it. We don't feel love. We don't love ourselves. Like we can be man. Dude, I'm a man's man. I'll go to the gym and rep out with anybody, right? But why am I doing that? Well, I'm doing that because I feel like I need to protect myself. What's driving that, guys? And when you get into that place, you can't get to a positive place if the drive is coming from a negative place. It's impossible.
Now, I couldn't have said it better. So you said something that's interesting, though, like get out of the hole. Like we got to get out of the hole first. Talk to the person that's kind of newer that maybe is still either working a job, a 9-to-5, and they're kind of dabbling in real estate, or the person that just quit their job that doesn't want to dabble. They're doing real estate full time, but they just maybe did their first deal or two. That person right there that feels like it's all hustle right now. How do you balance all that hustle to get up out of that hole with the kind of like the impact side of it, like you were talking about?
I think that's a great question, Brian. I think that in hindsight, I think a lot of guys that I've been part of masterminds with, and even the guys I'm helping, coach on a higher piece, Brian, I think the biggest thing there is, so I have two thoughts there. Guys, one, my heart says, keep grinding. Call it something else, but you've got to put in that time because you haven't earned. A lot of the guys I see start out, they want to scale too fast. And I go, I love this. It's not my quote. I learned this from Vinny Fisher, great dude if you're not following him, but he said, scale is a privilege for those who put in the work.
Wow.
And I fucking love that. That's my first F-bomb there, by the way, but it was worthy of one.
Yeah. So, by the way, just disclaimer from this point forward, Ray likes to drop some language. No big deal. Just disclaimer going forward. It might come out. But hey, the message can't get lost, though. The message can't get lost in what you just said.
Don't lose the message and what I'm doing. I'm just have my unique voice. The message really is that scale is a privilege. And if you, and what I say is a privilege, not only is it a privilege among you that you have to earn, it's a privilege that how dare you take someone from making money and income and providing for their family somewhere else in another organization and bring them onto yours if you don't have data, metrics, procedures, processes to bring them on board so that they win. You're doing them and you a disservice, and then you're confusing the shit out of the universe. And then you're wondering why it doesn't work. Like, dude, take the step back, stop generating revenue, and then look to how can I help these people? How can I have the systems, the process, the procedures, the training manuals? Do they fit the culture? All this stuff we talk about in traction and all that stuff, like you haven't earned that right. Like, oh, I want to grow this. can we put some money in the bank account first? Like, let's just. So I think that when you're starting out, keep grinding, and really force yourself to get uncomfortable. So one of the things I would do different if I was starting out, I'd invest in myself, and I did, but I wish I'd have done it through masterminds and local mentorship at a high level. I would have paid someone 20, 30 grand who was local to come, and I did. But it wasn't in a structured way. It wasn't where they had a mastermind. It was one or two people that I did deal splits with. But in hindsight, if I had a structure where there was trust among that group and we could do more together, I would have done that sooner because I would have been a lot faster sooner with a lot less headaches.
So you mentioned masterminds, and obviously you have one. You've been in many. What? Obviously, there's a benefit there. What is that?
And I'm still in them.
You're still in them. So just talk about that piece. Talk about the like for the person. We're still talking to that person that's kind of newer. That 20,000, that 30,000. You and I know that it's worth it for the right one, for the right people, for the right group, because we know it's gonna compound, right?
Correct.
For that person that, hey, that's my last 20,000, that's my last 30,000. Talk to that person for a second.
Man, really, it's a matter of your why. For me, it was always been and this is kind of more evolved term just because I've been working on myself. It's really been an expansion of personal freedom. And that really means something different to everyone, Brian. So what I would say to that person, that's their last 20 or 30, what do you really want? How committed are you? How fast do you want it? And are you really in? So if you're really committed, then what are we talking about? And if you're not, then that's cool too. There's no right or wrong. The timing piece could be off. But if you're really committed, I find that those that are willing to invest in themselves always are going to figure out how to get that money back. But what they're doing is by, in essence, parting with that value and giving that value to somebody else so they can exchange value. Really, that's what it is. They're exchanging value. They're really showing the universe, hey, I mean this and I'm committed. And what happens is that I find that those people that do that, their results they're so much more committed. They're showing the universe not just literal, but actual with physical action that I'm in. And I find that those people are just much more successful.
So this is my story with what you're talking about right now. In 2012 is when I started in real estate, July 2012, and I didn't know anything about real estate. I went to a Rich Dad Education seminar. And, they put up the 50, the 20, the 30, the 40, and $50,000 packages. I was down to my last 20. And everything you just said right there, I resonate with because I felt like in that moment that's what I wanted. And I laid it all on the line. And you know what I did? And this is why I'm a big believer. I don't think that it's necessarily the program. I think it's you. I think it's the individual. Obviously, structure is important. There are a lot of things that are important and make them better. But I think it's more about you. I'm not saying anything bad or good about Rich Dad Education. But I'll tell you this. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here. So I know that for a fact. 100%. But
and Brian,
it was up to me.
We're not saying anything.
But Ray, just to put a bow on this for a second, it was on me to make that happen. It doesn't matter who I give the 20,000 to. If I'm not committed to it, then it's over. Then I lost. So
it's always about you. It's always about the individual. Do they believe in themselves? Do they want it?
Yeah.
The program matters much less. Think of it in the fitness space. You could give someone Zumba dancing. If they're committed to the nutrition and the diet plan, they're going to get results.
Totally.
Now, Brian, you and I know that Rich Dad, and I met Robert Kiyosaki in person last week and had a great convo with him. He gave me a meditation book, and I love this guy. At the same time, I know that for real estate investors, wholesaling specifically, there are a lot better educational programs.
Of course there are.
In the current time.
Of course there are, but that's
not the point. The point is that Brian invested in himself, and Brian showed the universe that by investing in himself through Rich Dad, he was committed.
Game over.
Kobe, I'm out.
Serious. Kobe, man, you're too young. You're too young. Hey, no, but I'm just a big believer in that, man. I'm a big believer in you said it, the local. Get the local guy that's going to help you get to that next level. And then I believe let's start going to kind of some masterminds that are kind of outside my local area, start learning from some people nationally to really help me scale, really help me grow. Talk about that for a second. Ray, why did you decide to start your own thing? Because I know you've been in a lot of groups. Why'd you decide to start your own?
Man, I felt that for a couple of reasons. One, I feel like I'm such a spiritual dude in terms of like how I look at this, that no one was really serving that space. And I also look at there wasn't anyone really transitioning from being a transactor, like doing transactions in real estate. Like I love Alex Pardo, and he's a transactor. He's doing a lot of transactions.
Right.
Great. We all did that. But then I was never seeing a lot of guys transition to buy and hold, to lending, to building wealth through other channels. Right. So currently, right now, our lending portfolio provides more monthly, stable, consistent cash flow than our rental portfolio. And it's a lot less headaches, and it gives me a lot of more lifestyle. And a lot of guys that just kind of focus on the transitional income, they'll never focus on taxes, on asset protection. Dude, our tax game is silly. Our asset protection game is retarded, right? The guys who run fortune builders, they're the ones who are referring to asset protection. It's not like something you would hear, but like they never really transitioned to building out real wealth. And I didn't get in this to make a couple $100,000 a year. I got in this to be wealthy. And what I mean by wealthy, Brian, is not just financial. It's family, it's lifestyle, it's health-wise, it's fitness, it's me and the spiritual and the emotional piece, right? Because a lot of guys will make money and then they'll ruin it because they won't be fulfilled and they have the emotional issues.
Yeah.
So now you got money, but you're never really, guys, Tony Robbins knows like 20, 30 billionaires. And when he was asked, how many of them actually really happy? It's one or two. Guys, you're a billionaire. So the money won't solve any more problems. It'll just make you more of who you really are. And if you feel emotionally empty, no amount of money or things are going to fill that. You have to fill that void yourself. And guys, it's a spiritual game once you get over that money game. And no one is talking about that. Like that's not being covered. How to actually protect well. So how to make more, how to keep more what you make and ultimately do less isn't being covered in the space. About how to scale out your business, how to do more, and how to do more what? Like I'm a big fan of more. But let's get clear on what that more is and what that is for you. Because like what Brian wants, what fulfills Brian is going to be different from what fulfills me. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why you decided to start your own thing, because you felt like it was more, you could kind of encompass everything. Like the whole spiritual side. Like, so the only
everything.
people, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to cover everything. So like at my event, I'll have my CPA there. I'll have my CFO, my consultant who does other third party stuff. I'll have my IRA guy. So like I'll have my entire wealth team, because like they need to be part of it. Like everything I do has to be done in a team now. Otherwise I don't do it, other than the lending. But even the lending, I'll still leverage a team. Yeah. Right. So, team is so valuable. And then again, guys being in a proper mastermind, especially I like local masterminds. Not that everybody has to be local, but I like that it's a local mastermind and that you have a local mentor, because now you get his relationships, his network. Guys, the problem with the guy beginning is he's trying to build out his network, and he's going to go through 100 frogs to find one that gets it. When I can make a quick intro, hey, this guy gets it, wants it. And like when you speak to your avatar and you know who you're speaking to and they get you and you get them, magic happens.
Yeah.
And there's trust.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how you and I met.
Totally. That's right. And I tell people all the time that like coaching is, so information is everywhere. Like you're not going to get into a coaching program or a mentoring program for information. The information is everywhere. It's the relationships, it's the network that's really you can plug into right away. Like you're talking about, like going through 99 frogs to get to the one, right?
Who wants to do that?
Yeah, of course. You're wasting so much, not only time, but obviously money too. And then obviously speed of implementation. I mean, to be able to really implement what you're trying to do at a lot quicker of a pace, that's why you would enter. So people ask me all that, because we coach locally. Like why, right. That's our model. Our model is just local only. Like why would I do that, Brian? Why would I enter your coaching program? You give away all your information for free. All your information's on your podcast and on your YouTube videos. Why would I have everything that you have? I wrote books on it. I wrote books on how to do everything that I'm doing. Like it's all out there. Well, look, it's not about the information. What are you going to do with the information? How do you use the information? Who is in your network? Who's in your sphere of influence? So I'm with you, man. I'm totally with you there.
The accountability. I like the accountability in the coaching, which is huge, guys. The accountability, guys. I know how to train. I've been training for years. I still have 2 trainers. I have a massage. I don't want to do my own foam rolling. I have a massage therapist. I have guys. You want a team to help you. In my real estate business, I have a CFO that I don't make decisions with financial, but I need a coach to help me, because he's going to see things I don't see, hold me accountable. And then the other thing that you said, and that was powerful too, is mindset, guys. So when
Let's
when
talk
I
about
network
mindset.
with somebody else,
Yeah.
yeah. So when I network with somebody else and they're playing ball at a high level, like let me give you an example of mindset. This is something that I'm not putting my beliefs or my fulfillment in your listeners or even in you, Brian. I'm just saying that a couple of guys in my circle started flying private. And I was like, damn, I was looking at it and I go, I wonder if it's worth it. The money, this, that, kind of all that story started to come up in the head. Is it really worth it? And then all of a sudden I said, you know what? Let's just try one. So I took my family from Miami to Disney on a private. And I'll tell you what, we got home and we were back home in 25 minutes. My daughter was flying up and down the plane, running up and down, no seats, no TSA. We pulled up to the airport 10 minutes before the flight. It was her and me on the plane. On the way back, I sat next to a billionaire who owns 1,000 rental units in Orlando, free and clear. So I had one-on-one time with him. Meanwhile, my daughter is kissing, saying hi to everybody. She does a button, you know what I mean, up and down the elevator. So guys, and I'm not saying what's right for you or what isn't. What I'm saying, if this universe has the ability to give you something that your soul wants, then it has to, by definition, give you the ability to fulfill that. It has to. Your soul can't want something out there and then not also, God won't give you a lock without giving you the key. The key has to be there. The thing is, you're not accessing the key. You don't have the mindset. You're not that person in that, you're not vibrating yet at that level to attract that which you want, because you are not that which you are, which you're not that which you want. You haven't become what you wanted to become, vibrationally, mentally, or emotionally.
It's huge, man. So I'm trying to think of, so a lot of our listeners are newer. I've just kind of gathered that. Got some experienced guys, obviously, but some of them are newer. Ramon, talk about for a second the mindset when you're new. You're talking about flying private,
right?
And I got $20 in my checking account.
But it didn't start there. You know what? $20. You know what I did when I had $20? I went to Starbucks on 8th Street and 87th Avenue, and I bought a $5 cup of coffee.
Why? Talk about that.
Because I could sit with myself and I could think and go rich, and it was a reward to myself. Guys, the problem is you don't love yourself, and we don't love ourselves. We don't treat ourselves. We don't think we have the value we think we do. So this is the reason why, Brian, we do more for others than what we do for ourselves. But really attracting wealth, you have to feel worthy of wealth to attract wealth. You can't come from lack and get abundance. And it's been the hardest thing for me, Brian. That's why, and again, guys, this is an ongoing piece. I don't have it all figured out too. I still suffer from scarcity at times. It still gets me at times. Guys, scarcity is automatic. Gravity is automatic. So every day I work on my abundance, my mindset, feeling worthy.
What do you do?
All these things come up.
Ray, what do you do?
Man, I do the biggest thing I've been doing lately that Robert Kiyosaki gave me himself, which is pretty freaking epic, was a book called HoloSync. It's in meditation.
Spell
right?
that.
So HOLOSYNC. It's a program you can buy for about $150, $170. And what it is I put these headphones on, Brian, and then I meditate for 30 minutes every day. This is Robert Kiyosaki spent an hour and a half privately talking about the power of binaural beats, meditating, and how it's changed his life. And I've been doing it consistently now for the last 2 weeks, 30 minutes every day from never meditating. And it's starting to bring up my awareness. It's starting to bring, and that's something they can do for free. Take 30 minutes for themselves, because you'll start to just like live in your spirit, understand what's going on, and get all these blockages and stuff out of the way. Because guys, what usually drives guys like us, guys that want to kind of provide for the family, everything else, is something that they don't feel worthy enough of something and they're trying to prove something. At least that's what drove me.
Yes.
And that's good to start, right? That's good to start. But dude, it's so much better when you're talking to a seller or you're talking to a client and they know you're there to serve and you're there to help, and you don't care whether or not you get the contract or not. Guys, every time I do that, I always get the contract. Always. And the weird thing is the seller knows that I don't need the contract, and they know I got the money. And it hasn't been said. It's just how I show up.
Ray, talk about for a second the people out there that, because this is where I am right now. I'm like here's the teeter-totter, and I'm like right. It's not you. Everything you're saying I know is true in my mind. I'm just not there yet. Talk about the person who the teeter-totter's on the other side, and they're like, man, Ray, I just need I just need to do 2 or 3 more deals, and I'm good.
Here's what I'll say. What's the feeling you want once you do 2 or 3 more deals?
The feeling.
How are you going to feel?
I'm going to feel like I can feed my family. I'm going to feed.
You're going to feel like you can feed the family. And then once you do 2 or 3 deals, what's going to be? What are you going to want next?
To do 2 or 3 more.
So what are we talking? So why not feel good and do 2 or 3 deals?
Okay.
Why not chase it versus attract it? Because you're going to have to put the fucking work in anyway. Let's just keep it 100, guys. If we're not about putting the work, let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But can we work from a place of adding value, from a place of serving, from a place of what God put us here to do?
Yeah.
Can we come from that place versus trying to be a wolf? Can we come from being a shepherd? Are you with me? It's the outcome's the same. It's how do we get there?
Yeah.
And can we serve more as we get there? And then we're going to attract more.
Yeah. It's just, I'm with you. I hear people a lot that have the completely different mindset. That if someone gets a deal, that means there's one less deal out there for me. People believe that.
I'm with you, and Ray, I used to be one of those.
Ray, what's a practical step or two? I'm definitely looking into a HoloSync. What's a practical step or two that we can take, the people that are out there, that they can take a couple of steps to start to shift their mindset away from that onto abundance?
There's a couple of things. Dude, the first thing is the power environment. I'm going to always get around an abundant environment, guys.
How?
Go to the beach. Go to play golf at a wealthy golf club. Only if it's rare. Go to a nice steakhouse or go to a nice place and just have a drink. Get around the environment where it's better so that you have that pull you versus the scarcity shit you're dealing with right now. So one is change the environment, right? Get around a peer group. Get around a mastermind. Get around where it's better. Right, so someone's like you and I, Brian, you seem like you're in healthy. Say you play a sport or something. It's just I can just tell from your energy. You play some kind of sport, right?
Used to.
Okay, so what'd you play?
I used to coach. Basketball, Division I.
So basketball. So you're a D1 coach. So guys, I play a lot of basketball, and what I'm saying is, whenever I find a peer group that's playing the game at a higher level, my game always rises.
Always.
Not once in a while, always rises.
Always.
I mean, I'm like, dude, I'm making these 3-pointers over these guys. You guys are ball. I'm grabbing rebounds. And guys, I got more out of myself because I did it with somebody else. Guys, you know that if 2 people, Brian and I, individually look at a mountain and we look to climb this mountain, if I'm by myself, the mountain will be 30% higher than if I'm with Brian. So guys, there's power in these masterminds. There's power in a peer group, and the peer group that's playing the game of life at a higher level so that you're uncomfortable and you're the quote unquote bitch in the room, technical term. And that's where you want to be. That's where the growth is. I always want to be the weakest player, the weakest guy in the gym, and working against the strongest guy, not against him, working with him, right, together. And that's where you're going to grow the most. So put yourself in the environment that forces the growth, that you feel the abundance. And then the second piece I would do is gratitude, man. That's something they could do. Tony Robbins has a little map, and you can kind of go into your heart and you feel with your heart, and you really go back into that gratitude and you feel gratitude and appreciation. Guys, your life changes when you trade your expectation for appreciation. And guys, I'm not preaching to you like I'm above you or below you. That's not what it's about. I'm preaching to you because I need this as much as I'm telling it to you guys. I need this.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm still going through this. I still have times of scarcity, times where I don't appreciate things. But the truth is, dude, you being here and being alive is a fucking miracle.
Yeah. That's big.
So
time,
let's
man.
appreciate that.
No,
and it's simple, guys. Graduate doesn't cost money. Going somewhere abundant, getting around a peer group where it's better doesn't cost money.
Totally.
But the thing is, you know what kills people, Brian? Outside of that, the mindset and the scarcity. The truth is, and I talked to a few of these new guys. I don't surround myself with a lot of new guys just because of my patience levels. But I help guys get it more, and get it better, right? So I help guys get it more. So what I wanted to say was, the reason the guy starting out or has a job and is looking to transition and doesn't and lives in the scarcity place, he's playing too uncomfortable. The truth is, whenever I look at all those guys starting out, they're not willing to get uncomfortable, and that's why they don't do the gratitude, and that's why they don't go out to a peer group, and that's why they don't invest in themselves. They want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And guys, comfort has a cost. I'm gonna say that again.
Totally.
Comfort has a cost.
Yep.
So you want to be comfortable, or you can go make money, but you can't make both.
I agree. I talk about it all the time. I'm with you, Ray. I'm just trying to give you the fuel, man. I'm just trying to tee up the softball so you can knock it out of the park, man. What else? What do you got going on right now, Ray?
So
I know you got the mastermind coming up, and unfortunately,
we got the mastermind in May.
I think this is I'll share that stuff. I can share that stuff on our social media and with our email list and all that. But this one's not going to come out until after this podcast isn't.
Well, I've got one in May 18th, 19th, and if not, I don't have another one on deck because I'm really getting clear and clear. I'm looking to see how I can impact at a bigger scale, and still have the family and everything else I want. So I'm getting clear on that. I probably will do another one in the future, just not clearing it right now yet. So I'm doing the masterminds. I'm doing the lending. So it's more relationship-based lending, guys I know, like, and trust. Usually guys that come to the mastermind that I can help them in their business. I hang around with a lot of guys that are willing to be vulnerable and open and raw and authentic because I find that those are the guys that are willing to grow. They're willing to be uncomfortable to grow because you can only grow, guys, if you're uncomfortable. You can, your wealth zone is equal to your comfort zone by T. Harv Eker. It's a great book. You can pick that up, Millionaire Mindset. Secrets for a Millionaire Mind. I actually have it right behind me. But guys, everything I'm telling you to do, I still do. That's why the book is here. So, continue to educate yourself. So I do the lending, and then and we do the mastermind. Those are our two big things. That's it, man. Those are the two big things that we do. Everything else is to free up time so I can have time. Guys, the key ingredient to a quality life is time. And what is time? Time is really emotion. Where do you live emotionally? And that's not from me. That's from Tony Robbins.
Ray, you mentioned, I heard you say on another podcast, you want to try to impact a million people, a billion people.
100 million people. I want to help 100 million people become financially free. That's my moonshot.
How?
The universe is going to show me the how. So I'm relying on that. My vision of the how is really to help leaders enable their teams. Because for me to go direct to those one-on-one isn't. But if I can help the leaders and create leaders, and then that number happens generationally, guys. Because I'm not just thinking about me and my family. I'm thinking, like, for example, this young lady who used to work with us. Her name is Kelly. Her son's life is Troy. Her son's name is Troy. His life is forever changed because she generated wealth. So that counts to me. That counts like a lot of lives. And then whoever he marries, right, he's already going to be wealth, right? So how do we not just create generational wealth for us, but generational wealth for the people? And I'm counting those numbers as well. So if we can help leaders and whoever she helps to create, so she has her own people she's helping now, right? And then that's just it. Like, how do we kind of get that? What do they call it? Processional effect.
Why?
So
why do you want to do this?
Man, I feel like I was born to do this, man. I feel like I was born to help. I was born to inspire. And what I mean by inspire, I feel like I was born to live in my own spirit, and my spirit says it wants to inspire others to be the very best they can be. And I feel that the financial part is something where most people struggle financially. And if you don't get over that, finances aren't everything, but if you don't have any, they are. Brian, you and I have been there, brother, when we had no finances. At that point, that's all I could focus on. I wasn't going to focus on getting a date or something else. Like when you're broke, I was never poor, but when you're broke, that's all you focus on. And I get you guys where you guys are starting out. And what I'm saying to you is you will always be broke unless you start beyond that.
You have to start from abundance to get wealth. You can't be broke and attract abundance. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Ray, how can people get a hold of you? How can people sign up for your mastermind, sign up for your email list and stuff like that?
Sure. Guys, best thing to do is go to MiamiMillionaireMastermind.com. So MiamiMillionaireMastermind.com. Sign up there and you'll get my weekly emails. If you're not my friend on Facebook, friend me on Facebook. I do a weekly Facebook Live. I did one now on investing through your self-directed accounts, IRA accounts, and solo Ks. So you can follow me on Facebook. I'm also on Insta at the official Ray Gonzalez. And guys, I'm around. I'm one of these guys. A lot of my friends will call me or someone will call me. Dude, you call me right back. I'm like, brother, I have time. I'm not that busy. And I've designed my life to not be that busy. Like I always have time to help and serve somebody. Yeah. Otherwise, what am I doing, dude?
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, man. So talk about the 10X, before we go, talk about the 10X hat. A lot of people think
So 10X.
Grant Cardone is just a marketer and he's full of crap. Tell us why people are wrong.
Well, you know how I'm a big fan of investing in myself. So I Stroke GC a check. It was multiple. It was close to 20 G's altogether. It's been the event, the flight, being VIP with him. So I'm up on stage, dancing, singing a flow rider who's from Carroll City, where I buy a lot of properties in. Guys, that would never happen had I not invested in myself. This fucking, poor old boy from Miami in the hood. I'm up on the stage with flow rider, singing "It's Going Down for Real," and flow rider then asked me for the hat, right? Like, it's just a universe, like crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking to Tim Grover, who's Kobe Bryant's. You know Tim Grover. You have to know Tim Grover, right? Tim Grover's Kobe Bryant's, Dwayne Wade's fitness coach, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I'm sitting having a cup of coffee with this guy. I'm a huge fan of training, and we know a lot of multiple names. So now I know this Tim Grover on a first-name basis. But guys, I invested in myself. I went to the event. I play full out. I go with my wife, so we're both growing together, right? Because otherwise, guys, in a relationship, you will grow apart if you're not growing together. Now, she doesn't have to do the same thing I do, but we both need to be growing together. And so I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone, what he's done, his level of thinking. I don't take Grant Cardone's day-to-day plug-away advice. I take his mindset advice. A lot of guys want to say, oh, but he's this, he's that, he's that. Clearly, he's doing something right. Why don't you figure out, look, if the guy's got a nasty three-point shot, I don't need his inside game. Let's take his three-point shot and copy that. Like, because you were a coach, right? So what is he doing great at? He's got great ball handling skills. Let's copy that. I don't have to look at his whole life. And I don't have to look at, me and my wife were talking about this today as we were walking on the beach. We were talking about, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is living the best version of his spirit that Grant Cardone is living. We are wrong. When we look at Grant, we say, oh, we don't like him. It's something we don't like in ourselves.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know what it really is? And you know what it really is, Brian, when you really fucking boil it down? What it really is, we stopped living that ourselves. That version of whatever that is that he's living, we stopped living that for us. And I'm not saying I don't want to be Grant, because the last fucking thing I want to do is be Grant. At the same time, am I living my life to my fullest potential?
Totally.
That's the real question. And that's how you hate on Grant. You hate on Grant because you're not living your life to your fullest potential, and you gave up somewhere. The hater quit on himself.
Ray, I've got a seminar the weekend you're doing your mastermind, but I'm gonna. It sounds like you got a lot of free time on your hands, so I'm flying down to Miami to get a one-on-one.
Sure, man.
I'm gonna invest in myself. Hey guys, I highly encourage you to get in touch with Ramon Gonzalez. Unbelievable stuff, and maybe we even get you up here to Birmingham. What do you think?
Sure, I love traveling, man. We got the.
We'll
Birmingham,
fly.
Birmingham. How far from where is Birmingham exactly? Is that how far from Atlanta is that?
It's from Atlanta. It's a 2-hour drive. It's about a 30-minute flight.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll fly you private up here. How about that? And get you up here to Birmingham.
I'm down.
Hey,
I'd
man.
love to help. Matter of fact, I'm going to Louisiana for a man camp, like a men's group, and I'll send you an invite for that, dude. It's great. Like, we're going to do a lot of this experiential work. I'm super excited about that.
Ramon, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. And really, the mindset stuff, I think, is what people, especially newer people, trapped in the 9-to-5, trapped in the rat race, don't really get that. And it's hard. I can't blame them. And because I was there too, and it sounds like you were there too as well. I really appreciate you kind of really giving some great knowledge about how we can kind of break out of that, some how-to, some practical stuff, and how we can try to break out of our old nasty mindset habits to where we can start having that abundance mentality.
I think what you said is very true. Is because you're in a negative environment all day, guys.
Yes.
That's the reason more you need this, right? So it's you think you're already in that environment of the work and everybody else being the worker bee. And I was there too, guys. And it is harder. It is harder to think positive when everything around you is negative. It is. And guys, Tony Robbins, one of my success coaches, 80% of success is psychology. The 20% mechanics Brian is giving away for free. Guys, I give this shit away for free in my Facebook Live. The problem is if they can't execute with this shit because the mindset's not there. And the mindset is how you execute.
Wow. That's huge. That's a great note to end on. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you. Can't thank you enough, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man.
All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Later.